Welcome to Living from the Inside Out with Holly Wade. Living from the Inside Out is about living fully, guided from your inside. Holly shares the wisdom of how your mind, body, and spirit are truly connected and that you deep down know your own answers. Holly and her guests will provide tips, practices, and inspirational stories to help you approach your life from your own heart. And here's Holly.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining this episode of Living from the Inside Out. I am your host, Holly Wade, and I have a question for you. Did you set a New Year's resolution? Now, we're into January. How are you doing? See, I ask this because only 8% of people will actually see their New Year's resolution through. That means 92% of us never do. We've fallen off that wagon before the end of January, before the first month even takes hold. Now, I have a theory behind this. Because when you think about it, the majority of New Year's resolutions deal with weight loss, finances, organizing, meaning clearing the clutter, or relationships. Those are the majority of, there might be little tweaks here and there, like maybe it's I want to get more in shape, or I want to eat healthier. That's still dealing with weight loss, right? So there might be some nuances in there, but those are the general themes: weight loss, finances, organizing or clearing out the clutter, or relationships, meaning either getting into one or removing toxic ones or strengthening the relationships. Now, if you really think about the reason that we create these resolutions, they're external. And those external reasons create internal stress or internal chaos. Now, this is what I mean by that. So weight loss, it's about our appearance to other people. Maybe there's a wedding that we're getting ready for. Maybe there's some other event that we're getting for. But it's really about an external appearance, getting that beach body for a vacation or spring break or whatever the case may be. Finances, it's maybe about trying to keep up a certain lifestyle because that's comfortable, because we like appearing a certain way to people. So see what I'm getting at? Like why it's external, why there's something out there, kind of like how we appear to other people. The thing is, the reason that most of us fall off of the wagon of pursuing that New Year's resolution is because it gets hard. Because at the end of the day, it is not about the Band-Aid that we're trying to put on that. It's because we actually have to go in and face ourselves. And until we're willing to do that, we're going to keep in that same cycle of repeated patterns, of repeated outcomes. We're going to get into that yo-yo diet. We're going to get into that deeper debt financially. We're going to get into that overspent, overextended, over-exhausted pattern that we're desperately trying to break. So how bad do you want it? If there is anything that I have learned, it's that these opportunities to learn the lesson will keep showing up. And each time it's a harder smackdown. So we can either face the real issue, and it's going to take some time. It's going to take diligence. It's going to take work. It's going to take intentionality to set yourself free. There will be blood, sweat, and tears. I promise you that. It isn't the glossy, glorious images that we receive on social media, in commercials. It is not that. They don't show you the hard part of dealing with yourself. See, here is the thing. The more we resist, or the more we put off, or the longer we put off actually dealing with ourselves, with getting into that deep, dark place within, the longer we resist it. And the symptom is the longer we resist our finances and our responsibility for creating that, the longer we resist our health and our responsibility in creating what we don't like, the longer we resist sifting through our own physical stuff because we don't want to deal with our personal stuff, the inner stuff, the longer we resist becoming the person that we would actually date and marry ourselves, the longer we resist those things, the harder they become. And that is our choice. That is always our choice, because every issue is temporary, as long as we're willing to face the issue. Because it's never going to go away on its own. The finances won't fix themselves. The relationships won't fix themselves. Your weight won't fix itself. Your health won't fix itself. Your stuff, your house can't clean itself. You have to be willing to go through that emotional purge, the detox, the facing your own demons, the willingness to accept all the parts of you, the good, bad, and the ugly. And when you start to actually dive in to who you are, see, this is the work right here. This is the most important work you will ever do. Because as you dig in to that mess within yourself, that glorious mess that is within, because no one goes unscathed or untouched there. And if anyone tells you differently, walk away. Don't believe them, because we all have our own stuff. We all have our own baggage. And it's through the gift of sifting through that personal baggage, accepting all of who we are, all of the experiences that we've had in this life, and going, okay, what can I learn from this? Can I change this? Is there anything that I can do about this? How can I grow through this? How can I go deeper into my relationship with myself? This is the way I look at it. Your most important relationship is with you. Because you are the only person you're going to be with through your entire lifetime. Other people will come and go for various reasons. So if you're depending on them for happiness, if you're depending on them for who you are, if you're depending on them for any reason, you're always going to fall short. And as you become comfortable with who you are, with all of it, as you take responsibility for all of your choices and how that has painted this tapestry called your life, and that you get these choices to continue to create this beautiful tapestry. You know, life is going to happen. It's going to throw challenges and tests our way. But as we grow in our confidence, in our character, in our faith, we have all the tools to stay steady when those storms of life hit, whatever that is. And we have all the tools to thrive in this life that you get. I was just having a conversation with a friend this morning. See, my personal relationship that I want to deal with this year is my money relationship. And what I realized is that the last 2 years I have spent money on coaches and on building my business. And if I would have pulled back and trusted myself, I actually made some pretty decent money, and my personal expenses are pretty minimal right now. And had I been able to put that in savings or just let it be in my checking account, I would have reduced my stress quite significantly. And that's me getting real with myself right now. So I'm taking a different approach. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Just kind of tuning in and trusting myself and trusting things to fall into place that will lead me. And that even small amounts that come in, I can sit back and let that grow. So maybe the deeper question is, what is so scary about you? Why are you so scared of yourself? What is the relationship that you need to grow this year? And it's really interesting because honestly, in the last 17 years, I started on this deep journey inside of myself. And it's kind of been this peeling of layers, understanding things that were learned and ingrained, letting go of beliefs, rechecking my values, letting go of things that I was taught. And we really cling to those things. We'll hold on to those things with tight, tight fists. That is the resistance. Because what if I'm a bad person? What if I'm wrong? What if I'm whatever? Why would people who loved me teach me these things? But as we sift through what we've learned, these behaviors that we have, and start to observe ourselves and just study ourselves, that is honestly yoga right there. It is a practice of studying yourself. That's it in a nutshell. That's Body Groove. It's a practice of getting to study yourself and learn to express yourself. That's why I love those two modalities. Excuse me. As you peel off those layers and begin to understand you, and you're going to go through these extremes, you're going to go through these different explorations to see where you really land. And that's healthy. That's important. We need to try this spectrum of things. That's called free will. We need to try this spectrum of things and experiment so that we understand where our own truth really lies. And as you start to see the BS of the world for what it is, you realize that you don't react so much. You just sit back and just kind of go, all right, enjoy that little game because I'm not going to play right now. And let me tell you, that is freeing right there. That is the ultimate sense of power. When you understand and know yourself so deeply, the ironic thing is that we're so scared of exposing ourselves to the world. Because what if they don't like us? The truth of the matter is, not everyone is going to like us. We don't like everybody in this world. Why would everyone like us? That's the truth. But you'll realize that as you become more confident, more okay, more comfortable in your own skin on all levels, when you have this really good, healthy, loving, nurturing relationship with yourself, that's the game changer in all the other things. That's, that law of attraction that you hear where things start to come your way. That's why. Because you are radiating the you that has been created for this world. Because only you have something special to offer. It may not be on this big grand scale. It may be just within your family. It may be in your workplace. It may be in your own community. But that is the gift that you have been given to give to this world. There's a reason you're in this world. You have a unique perspective through your own experiences. You have a unique personality. And that's when we align the most with I believe, with our Creator. Because we're no longer resisting who we've been created to be and what we've been created to do in this blip of life. Think about that. It's a blip. It's a blip of life. 80-ish years is not that long in the grand scheme of eternity. I know I spent probably a good 15 years just self-punishing. Starting in junior high. Not feeling good enough, not ever being perfect enough, not ever being enough, being successful enough. And it was through this inward journey that I've become okay with my life. Like, it's mine to live, And that's my choice. That's not up to everyone else. It's mine to choose. What do I need to live financially? Do I need to be a 7-figure person? Am I okay right here, right now? I have everything I need. Do I need to lose weight? Or do I need to face my health? What's really interesting is as we embrace who we are, the weight melts off because we're no longer hiding. Weight is never about weight. It's always about hiding. Finances may be the same. What's your relationship with money? Collecting stuff, it just weighs you down. Relationships with others, if they're strained, it may be more because your relationship with yourself isn't healthy. So instead of a New Year's resolution, I encourage you to take this year to just date you. Get to know yourself on all levels. Start with your body. What does my body feel like? Maybe I want to treat it better because it does an awful lot for me. Start with asking yourself things like, what do I really like to do? What are my interests? What are the things that light me up? And what are the things that make me feel drained? Do more of the things that light you up. Be healthy, selfish this year. Really get to know and understand you on all levels. And it may take more than this year. But isn't it worth taking that time to build your relationship with you, to go in to those deep, dark places inside of you, to face those demons, to face those monsters? Because honestly, they're never as bad as we make them in our head. It's just that we've been pushing them back. So they start to scream a little bit louder and they start to get a little more scary. But when we start to look it in the eye, we realize it's really not that bad. And that as we get into that deep place within us, we find the treasure of who we've been created to be. That's the beauty that starts to radiate outward because you've tapped into it. You've been hiding it, you've been burying it, you've been covering it up for so long that you don't even know who you are. Sometimes the most terrifying thing, the most terrifying person to face is ourselves. So be kind and gentle to yourself. Practice that. Start to forgive yourself. Because as you do, then you're able to forgive other people and create this freedom inside of you. Practice gratitude for what you have right here, right now. Because you wouldn't have these things had you not had all those other experiences in your life. Practice dancing. Practice those things that you enjoy. Do those things that light you up. Get excited again about life. That's what makes you attractive. That's what makes you intriguing. If you need some assistance in doing that, I've got a free Facebook group called Blissed Body, and it's really working on that mind, body, soul, life connection. And I bring out some tips, I bring in articles, things that I find that can be helpful. That's really what that group is about. The link for that is in the show notes. So please come join us if that's of interest to you. If you're willing to make a bigger investment and would like some accountability, that's what coaches are for. A good coach will mirror things back to you and help you see those answers within yourself. They're not going to give you the formula or the answers. They're going to guide you to those answers for yourself. And if you'd like some accountability, let's get on a discovery call, which would just be a 30-minute call where we can talk a little bit about what's going on in your life and what you'd like. And it's really your chance to get to know me a little bit better so that you can decide if I'm the right person to work with. Instead of focusing on what in 2018, instead of focusing on weight loss, finances, your outward relationships, your personal space, instead of focusing on the what would happen if you focused on who it is that you are, who it is that you are being called to become, and working with that. I know you can do it. Cheers to a happy, healthy, thriving, abundant you. It's worth the work. I promise you that. No more resistance. Let's dive in and do the work. Thanks for joining me on today's episode of Living from the Inside Out. I'll see you next week.
Thank you for joining us at Living from the Inside Out. Listen every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. To connect with Holly, just go to www.globalvoiceradio.com. Global Voice Radio is where your voice and your message is heard.